And United 102 with you, 30.5, descending flight level 200.
United 102, Shannon, identify D7, flight level 80.
Descend flight level 80, United 102, we're campaign aircraft.
That's copy, sir.
What's going on, aviation enthusiasts? Pilot Buds here. We're going to be doing an ILS tutorial on 04 right at Boston Logan International. So this is only the basics. This is a super easy approach, but this is only for an example. Obviously, I don't want you to keep practicing over this. You probably want to get better and better and better on more complicated approaches and landings. But we're currently in low visibility conditions, category 3, which is the worst kind of situation you want to be. This is where you like see the runway at 50 feet. So that's really difficult. And obviously, you can't do a visual approach on that. And somebody fucking calling me. God damn. Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Hi, bud. How's it going?
I'm doing a video. Welcome.
Are you really?
Yeah. Doing an ILS landing video tutorial.
You're doing it to
Do you need something, man?
Hi, everybody.
This is the other Pilot Buds guy. Fucking fantastic timing. Do you need something, man?
No, I don't. I just wanted to say hi.
Okay. I'll call you in a moment. Okay, other than my friend interrupting me. Okay, so back into the fact. We're going to be looking at our procedure chart. So, first few things, a lot of information to read, but really we're going to avoid that, and we're just going to get the crucial information. So first we're going to get our frequency of 110.3, and that's going to be a localizer frequency. Then, other than getting a Snapchat, we're going to move down here to our map, and there's going to be multiple different informations, but there's two things I would really want to look at. So, what is our true course heading? So even though we're landing at 04, that's not the actual magnetic heading of that runway. That's actually 035, which is posted right here. So we're going to put that in our course heading, and that's what the autopilot is going to use as the true, so we can hit the perfect center line and get right down to the minimums and reach the runway without deviating to the right or to the left, because we don't want to hit a taxiway or just a building or just miss the runway completely. Now we're going to go down here. So if we started about 20 nautical mile straight in approach, right? We would descend down to 4,000 feet right over here, down to Winnie waypoint. But we're not at there. We're way past that. We're actually at 2,000 feet at a 10 nautical mile approach, which is somewhere right past Nabo, and we're 2,000 feet over here. So currently we're going to descend down to 1,700 feet and reach the waypoint Milt. Don't really worry about that, because that's really all in the that's where you're really going to put those waypoints down in the FMC, so you should be doing this way before, but because we're doing this last second, you really don't have to put the waypoint. That doesn't have anything to do with the autopilot. This is just more of a navigation kind of thing, but avoiding that and the waypoints, all we need to know is that the interception, so that's what the cross is over here. That's when we're going to intercept the localizer, and that's when the plane is going to begin to descend and to follow the glide slope all the way down to the runway. So, other than that, let's move on. Again, another message. Wow, I am flying today. Okay, so before we unpause, because we wouldn't recommend it, we should have our flight director on already. And then we're going to unpause over here, and we're going to click on the autopilot. We're going to click speed. We're going to click VOR localizer, and the plane's going to take over from here. So if you look down here to your radio panel, you can see 110.3. Where's that number? That's the localizer frequency for navigation 1 and 2. So currently, that is what you have to do. That's why I click VOR. I already had that frequency in, but do not click the VOR button until you get the frequency in. Just forgot to mention that, but just make sure you put the frequency, so then click the VOR. Keep your heading, because I don't want you, if you don't have the frequency yet, you don't want to fuck up that. So other than that, we already have the frequency, so we click the VOR localizer, and it's already, it's already picking up the frequency. So that's good. So then we're going to move on to our course setting. So I already put it to 035. Good. So that's the plane's going to start following that heading, and that's perfect. And you're going to notice that because right here, this little pink diamonds are going to show up on your primary flight display. So if you're going to look over here, this pink diamond is right in the center, and that's exactly where you want it. If you were to the right, the pink diamond would be to the left. If you were to the left, the pink diamond would be to the right. Same thing with the altitude. If you're too low, the pink diamond is going to be up, and then if you're too high, the pink diamond is going to be right down here. Okay. But the reason why it's above me is saying I'm too low is because I haven't intercepted the localizer or the glide slope yet. So just ignore that for now. Our plane's currently descending down to 165. I'm going to add 1 notch of flaps. And I forgot to mention, I set the altitude to 1,700. That's, again, our interception altitude. So right now, we're waiting for this pink dot. It will come down to the center of this. So once it hits the middle, that's a sweet spot. We're going to click the approach button, which is right below the VOR. Now, obviously, it all depends on the aircraft, but we're flying a 737 on a really bad day in Boston. So the plane's just trying to get the speed accumulated and the altitude maintained until we give it other instructions. Now we're waiting. Again, we're waiting for an opportunity. So it's about to hit the middle, so I'm waiting for it to hit the approach. Okay, the primary flight display is telling me. I'm going to click the approach button. It picked it up. Now the plane's going to start taking over, and it's going to begin to descend. So I'm going to reduce our speed to 155, add 2 more notches of flaps, and the gears. Okay, so this is my own little procedure on before landing checklist kind of thing. But it's nighttime, so let's turn on our lights for landing, and turn on the thing over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Everything is looking good. Okay. So let's just double check and review everything is here. So our course heading is exactly what our procedure chart says, 035. Our speed doesn't really matter. It's all really up to you and depending on the aircraft. Our altitude is 1,700, but that's not really matter because the plane's already taken over and it's beginning to descend and follow the glide slope down. So let's move down here. Just make sure that we're not on the wrong frequency, which is 110.3. Everything's a-okay and everything's following, and I like it when things are going. So now you're just gonna make sure these 2 diamonds are not deviating to the left, to the right, up, down, left, right, blah, 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 all right? And we're just making sure. So wow, we just hit some thick fogs. Now, this is exactly why we have this procedure, because you will not be able to VFR down to the runways at this situation. So, I'll get back to you guys once the plane is ready to land. So, I'm going to reduce my speed to 145. Little nice information we just got there. We're going to put full flaps in. Gears are all the way down. Double check. The diamonds are still in procedure. And if you didn't just hear it, it's approaching 04. So that means we're about a good 2 nautical miles out from the runway. I like this information. Everything's looking good. Well, now we're just going to bring it all the way down. So I already know the altimeter is probably 29902, but we'll just ask anyways. So right there it says 29902, which is STD, other than sexual transmitted disease. That is our standard pressure. So the plane's slowing down. Everything's looking good. And we're just going to wait until we see a runway. Now, I'm hoping we see a runway. But if we don't, we'll follow the missed approach. So I'm putting my mouse, or technically my co-pilot would, but I don't have a co-pilot in this situation, so I'm just going to wait for the opportunity until I see the lights of the runway, and until I have a clear visual of the runway. I am not going to disengage the autopilot. Now, if I don't, and I'm really close to the ground, I'm going to add full thrust, and I will disengage the autopilot. So pretty much you will disengage the autopilot in both situations. So we're getting really close. We're 100 feet off the ground. All right, I'm ready, man. Okay, I'm seeing some lights. All right, I see a runway. Liking this, we're gonna idle. Pull back, pull back. Very nice, very nice. Good landing there. Liking the stuff. All right, we're gonna add a little brake pressure lined up in the center line. Okay, the plane's slowing down. Looking good, looking good. Okay. Okay, 80 knots, 70 knots. We're gonna take off the reverse thrust, take off the spoilers, take off and retract the flaps, pull back, add some brake pressure, and that is how you get off a runway. Alright, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope this tutorial was very explanational and very, you know, informational as well. If it wasn't, then find another video, but I'm pretty sure this is the best I can do. Have a good day, guys. See ya.